You're a Copepod and you're very, very tiny but very beautiful. What would you say is your best feature?
Well, I've got lots of good features, but I think my favourite are my feet, and we use them for swimming. And while we might only be 1 millimetre in size, we can swim 100 metres in 1 hour. So we actually can move 1 million times our own weight in water. So, size for size, we are the most powerful animal on the planet.
Do you prefer to live at the bottom or the surface of the ocean?
Well, we live at the surface of the ocean, but every day we go down 100 or even 200 meters below the surface because we don't want to be eaten by fish. And every night we all swim up to the surface of the water. And collectively, in all the world's oceans, we are the largest group of animals on the planet, and we are the biggest mass migration, and it happens twice a day from 100 meters below the surface to the surface of the ocean every night.
Despite your tiny size, you are very important. What's your greatest achievement?
Well, absolutely, we're really important. I think we're also responsible for sequestering most of the carbon on the planet because when we eat plants, we eat 400,000 every day. And when we defecate those plants out our back end, it's equivalent to 30 times more carbon than you humans are burning in fossil fuels. And that poop ends up in the deep ocean. And that's equivalent to around 2 to 3 gigatons of carbon every year.
What gets you excited?
Well, a nice looking female will get me excited for sure because I've got these big antennae and I can smell them, up to 100 meters away. But what gets me really excited these days is lovely clean water.
Where would we find you in the world?
You will find us everywhere in the world, in the oceans, in fresh water, and in the ground. Me personally, I live in the Sargasso Sea. I used to really like living in the Sargasso Sea, but the problem is this Sargasso is now choking the Atlantic Ocean and using up all the nutrients for my phytoplankton food. So we're struggling.
Can you decide where you go, or do you just drift with the current?
Well, we are plankton, and I am a very small plankton, only 1 millimetre in size, and we tend to just go up and down.
What's your favourite weather?
Weather doesn't really bother me too much because I live 100 metres below the surface. But when it's stormy, then you get waves on the surface and they then transmit down through the water. And it's quite nice to have that up and down motion because it stirs everything up, it brings oxygen into the water, and we have more food to eat. So I like it when it's stormy.
Do you worry about the future?
Absolutely, I worry about the future. We're dying at more than 1% every year. And as we die, plants are also dying, and the ability of us to remove carbon dioxide from the water is decreasing. And that means the water is becoming acidic, and we're now starting to dissolve.
Would we miss you if you were gone?
All life on Earth depends upon copepods living in the world's oceans. It's not only us, it's other animals called zooplankton. We all live and work together. When we're gone, in 25 years, the oceans are going to change. So life cannot go on if we don't go on. So when copepods die, we will take 3 billion of you with us.
Do you have any unique skills that you'd like to tell us about?
Well, I think it's pretty unique being able to move 1 million times your own mass in water every day. But I think our main skill is keeping the planet alive. So we're very proud of that, looking after you humans.
If you had a message for us, what would it be?
My message is stop polluting the oceans and the atmosphere. And if you can do that, then we can recover really, really fast because we can double in biomass in 3 days. So as soon as the brakes are taken off the marine ecosystem, then we will recover. And once we start recovering, we can remove the carbon dioxide into the greatest carbon bank on the planet, which is the abyss. Now, that's where all your fossil fuels come from in the first place, and that's where we can put it and lock it out for thousands of years. We can solve climate change, but you have to stop polluting our oceans.